Hey folks, welcome to our first ever live feed here at Mark Kelly Farm. We're going to try to figure this out and not get too many, what you call it, technical problems while we're doing this. This is our first time, so I've got another phone I'm going to be monitoring the channel with so I can answer any questions you got. So it looks like we got Brock from FNYT. How you doing? So let me know if you can hear me on this okay, or if we need to change up anything, the volume or anything like that. So you can shoot us any questions you want. Kelly's not actually here right now. So she's off watching state wrestling here in Nebraska. Sounds good, Country Dad, thank you. Yeah, she's off in Omaha watching our cousin's kid state wrestling. He's in the semifinals right now, or going into the semifinals here pretty soon. So let me know if you guys got any questions. Thank you, Brock. Hey, my youngest is on here, Sammy. How you doing? She said she's at work. Don't get in trouble. But good to hear from you. So we'll answer any questions you got if you have any. Our channel's not huge, so we're not going to get a lot of questions, I'm sure. I can bring you up to speed on what we're doing here on the farm. We've still got quite a bit of snow on the ground, but probably half of it's gone. And the ground's really muddy right now. Our driveway was really crazy muddy. We had like 1 foot trenches going down the driveway that I fixed yesterday. So I've been trying to stay off of the driveway. I went to breakfast this morning. Everything was still frozen. So it doesn't hurt anything while it's still frozen, but it's pretty treacherous going out to the chicken coop right now because we've got a sheet of ice we have to walk on, and anybody that's ever walked on ice, it's like skating a ring with shoes on. So Country Dad asked, how is the chicken coop holding up? Any changes you would make? I'll tell you right now that Kelly would definitely make it bigger. It looked to be big enough when we built it. The indoor part, which was 8 by 16, 8 of it being a storage area and another 8 of it being the actual coop area. She wishes we would have built it a lot bigger now, like twice as big, maybe 16 by 16. But it's serving its purpose just fine. But Kelly's got some stuff in the storage area. She likes to decorate and all that stuff too. So she runs out of room a little bit in there. But it's working great. The outdoor yard area has been fantastic. The chickens really enjoy that. Now this spring, I'll bring you up to scoop on a project that we're going to do this spring. I'm going to build right next to the chicken yard, if Kelly lets me do it. Kind of a corral with a really nice fence that will double as a dog kennel, because with the 2 dogs, I'm kind of held down here on the farm. Hi, Kathy Krantz, how you doing? Looks like Linda's here too. 2 real good friends of ours. Linda B's got a cooking channel now that she's got her own YouTube page, Easy Cooking with Linda B. So make sure you check that out. She's got some really good recipes on there. But we're going to build that kind of corral chicken coop, or not chicken coop, kind of corral dog kennel. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while because I don't live there no more. Miss you guys. Hopefully you can come make a trip out here. But that pen and / kennel will work. Say I go down and buy a weigh up at the auction when I get my walk-in cooler built. I can butcher any time of the year, and I don't have to wait just till winter to do that, because right now we have to wait till winter so we can hang the meat in the barn. So once I get the walk-in cooler, I can go to the auction, like I said, buy a weigh up, which I can get for anywhere from 50 cents to $1 a pound on the hoof. And that's really cheap beef. So if you know how to do your own butchering, super cheap. If you've been to the store lately, just a simple New York steak or ribeye will cost you $14 to $20 a pound. It's ridiculous. You kids settle down or you're going to have to go outside. Dogs are roughhousing in the house. So any up and coming shop projects, Country Dad is asking. As a matter of fact, there is. The shop door has been frozen. I just got it broke loose 2 days ago because of the corrugated roofing on the door. Once the snow and everything starts melting off the roof and it gets down in that door track, it refreezes overnight. And then because the corrugation is going this way, the water freezes it and you can't open the door. Linda said she loves the fur babies. We do too. So now I got the shop door open. You saw that, what did we do the other day? We made that work platform the other day, which I've been wanting to do for a long time so I can trim the trees around here. So I got that done. I have the ballast, the rear ballast for the tractor that I'm working on. It's partly started. If you followed the channel for a long time, you saw the start of that, I believe, spring of last year, or maybe even further back than that. But because I didn't have the work platform, I really didn't have a use for it. If I was picking up a lot of stuff with the front loader, I would just have an implement on the back, our heaviest implement being the brush hog, so it would keep the back of the tractor down. Where are you going, Ruby? Ruby Roo. You want to say hi? Come here. Ruby, come here. Come here. Not going to want to jump up here. She's chasing Brandy around. Maybe Brandy will come say hi. Come say hi, Brandy. Come here. Come here. You see her? There she is. There's Brandy. There's Ruby. Hi, Ruby. Say hi. Brandy's been out most of the day, so Ruby's wanting to play. Hey, no, don't bite him. So just like kids, I got to keep them in line. But yeah, we're really looking forward to getting back out in the shop. I have a couple meat cleavers that I need to finish that, again, if you've been following the channel, you saw me start those. One of them being my youngest daughter's. It got rusted years ago when somebody used it wrong. So I took it from her and I've had it ever since. I feel bad that I still got it. But it's all cleaned up. I just got to put some scales on it. And then there's that big meat cleaver, that big splitter meat cleaver that I'm going to put scales on, and I'll put that out in the meat processing area for cutting bones and stuff like that. And then I still have that other knife I made with the Christmas knife that I have to put scales on. I already have somebody that's going to get that. So Brock says he's been wearing his hat. I got him a hat. He's a local kid that goes to school with my cousin's kids. He watches the channel every video. So I sent a hat with my cousin who's a teacher there at his school. So I'm glad to see you got your hat, Brock, and I'm glad you enjoy it. So yeah, a couple more shop projects we're doing. I have a hiller attachment I want to make for the back of the tractor for making the row, kind of cover up the drip tape a little bit and make a mound so we'll mulch over that. And then I have another 3-point thing I have that I was going to make a carrier for the IBC totes that we have that you saw us move water around with. I want to make a 3-point attachment for that on the back of the tractor because it's a little bit heavy for the front loader. The front loader is not a real heavy front loader, and that tote is 4 feet wide. So it's a lot of weight for those tilt cylinders that are only probably that big. So I also want to check into getting a bigger around tilt cylinder because it increases the square inches inside the cylinder, which allows you to lift more things. It'll move a little bit slower, but it'll be more powerful because the current PSI we have, the more square inches you have, the stronger the stronger it works. So right now I can lift more with the tractor than I can tilt, and I'd like to be able to tilt just a little bit more. So any other questions? Country Dad said he made one of those hillers. Cool. They come in pretty handy. I used to have one that was behind my push behind rototiller, and that worked really well. And let's see, Brock's asking how long the live stream is going to be. It depends on how many questions I get. I'm not going to go beyond probably, I don't know, 30 minutes or so on this first one, since we're just getting our feet wet with this. So, but things are going good around the homestead. We're supposed to get some warmer weather today. It was in the 40s. We had a south breeze, which always brings the higher temperatures. So that's been nice, been melting a lot of snow. Carla K asked, was the hog butchering your first time? No, it was not. Being of Portuguese descent, I've done that all my life. So I've got plenty of those under my belt, and we started real young. It's called the Matanza, when you get together every year and everybody helps out putting the pork away for the year. So Carla said, I didn't think so. Hopefully my skill showed through. That's why you didn't think so. So I've been doing it a while. It's usually a big affair with 5 or 6 pigs sometimes. My buddy Steve, always there to help, and we would go over help with his family, of course, too. That's the latest ones we did were with his family, because my family's kind of stopped doing it. So let's see here. Next question is, Country Dad, how long have you lived in Nebraska, and what brought you here or took you there? We've lived in Nebraska now going on 2.5 years. We had to get out of California because the politics there were driving us crazy, and I say us, mostly me, I guess. But Kelly always told me she wanted to get out of California. She was born and raised in Illinois, and has also lived in Colorado and Washington State, and where I met her was in California. I always tell people we met in jail, which is true, but we were on the right side of the bar, so that was okay. So yeah, we've been here. What brought me here is I have family here, and I've been coming and visiting here for years, because I would come, well, when it started out, my dad would come help my uncle or planting season. He would always disc for him, which my aunt would usually do. But my aunt, his sister, he would come help and do the disking. And when he got too old to do that, and after he passed, I would come help my uncle and disc for him during the first part of May. They usually start planting corn here around May 1st. But I would come help and do that. My cousins actually moved out here in the mid 80s. They used to live in California as well, but they did custom harvesting, and the grain kind of dried up out in California. So they followed the work, and they still did that stuff here in Nebraska. So they came here to do that. So that's what brought them here. They would harvest almost to Texas, clear up almost to the Canada border, I believe, and then had their own ground around here. But that's brought me here. I'm real close to my cousins that lived here. Love the family here. Got a lot of cousins. My dad's family had 13 kids, so I probably got cousins I've never met, I'm sure of. But miss all my family, of course, but we really love it here in Nebraska. Our state motto is a good life, and it really is. They couldn't have picked a better one. So been really enjoy it. The ground here at our place, we're real fortunate. It's super fertile, nice black soil. The garden we had the first year was just absolutely amazing. We're doing bees here too, and the bees have been really nice. There's not as much pest pressure here on the bees as there was in California. There was a lot of wax moth and a lot of hive beetles and all that. So it was really tough out in California to get a hive to go through winter. But both of our hives went through winter beautifully last year. And we're real happy about that. We're hoping they come out of winter again this year. If the weather warms up, I'm going to go out. If it gets to be around 50 degrees and the wind's not blowing, they'll start moving around out there because they do have an exit hole that they can get out of. And if I see that they're moving around and leaving the hive a little bit, I'll throw some syrup out there for them. Let's see what we got. Terry McKinney, hello. Another one of our very frequent viewers. What's your growing season like? We like to plant indoors in the greenhouse around April 1st, and usually we can plant out in the garden around May 1st. Last year, if you remember, we had a late frost and we weren't able to plant out till around June 1st. And then we got an early frost in the fall. So about the time we were getting a few tomatoes, our tomato plants got wiped out. Luckily, the year before we had put like 40 quarts away. So we're still working on those. So we were fortunate. Remember that story, the little red hen when you were kids? That couldn't be any truer. So we were lucky that when we had the abundance, we put it away. Same with the apples. We got no apples last year because of our growing season last year. So we're lucky we put a bunch of apples away. My youngest Sammy says, we miss you terribly, but we also know you're in good hands. Miss you, love you, Papa Does. Love you too, kid. I'm going to try to maybe visit soon. I don't know, maybe before planting season, but the stars got to align so I can get that done. So Sammy said she misses the honey too. Yes, it's fantastic. We didn't take any of the honey from our bees because they need it here. And I buy my honey from a local guy, but he sends all his bees to California for the almond blossoms in February. So we buy honey from him and we let all our bees have their honey so they overwinter better, because that's the food that they put away for themselves, just like we did. And they seem to do really good on it. So let's see, Brian, Starlink is working well. Yes, it is. We love it. Haven't had a bit of problem since they switched out our system. We had that initial problem where it kept buffering, but far and above better than any other thing that's available for rural people. The other stuff just sits and throttles the whole time because they only give you so much, even though it's supposed to be unlimited. They only give you so much speed, and then they throttle you back when you reach a certain amount of data, even though you got unlimited, which is ridiculous. And then they make you pay, and I think we were only going to get 2 or 3 more days, even paying more, like $100 more a month. So we said, nope. It took us a year to get our Starlink. It's not taking it that long now. I hear it's down to like 2 weeks, but we really love it. Let's see, Country Fun. Looking forward to seeing the garden. What are you planning to grow? We've got it kind of mapped out. We're definitely going to do tomatoes again because we want to put some more away. As you recall, I don't grow anything that I don't buy at the store. So we're probably going to do some more dry beans this year because we didn't do any dry beans last year. So we plan around what we have. The first year we did a humongous garden. We doubled up on the rows because the root cellar was completely empty. And we've since filled it up. So we're doing really good with that. So anything I have an abundance of, I can probably skip a year on, especially if it's something that's really easy, that's not so susceptible to frost as like tomatoes and stuff like that. We can grow that just about every year. So we always gonna do squash, of course. Kelly's been doing some greens out there, some spinach and stuff like that. I love doing the melons, winter squash that we can put away in the root cellar, stuff like that. We had some volunteer pumpkins that grew out of the compost pile last year. We had those, but we don't grow pumpkins or potatoes because my cousin does at their pumpkin patch. So there's really no need for us to do that. Easy Cooking with Linda. How's your mom? Will we see her sometime soon? We can definitely get her on the channel, of course. And she's doing really well. She loves it here in Nebraska. The facility she's in, she doesn't even have to go outside, which is fortunate right now when it's 15 degrees in the morning. So everything she does is indoors. All of the apartments there are all connected indoors. It used to be like a hospital wing, but they've turned them all into apartments. So she doesn't even have to go outside to go to the doctor. Her doctor's next door, and there's a hallway that goes to her doctor's office where she doesn't have to go out and walk on the ice on the sidewalk and all that. So it's perfect. She's got a beautiful view of the courtyard, the gazebo out of her window. She watches the squirrels and the birds flying around. We put a bird feeder right outside the window. So it's pretty cool. They serve meals there once a day. She goes and eats lunch. She eats like a bird. So it's only $5 a day to eat there on the premises, and it's good food. She's met a lot of great people. They do puzzles. They do play cards all the time. She's really loving it. So let's see here. I might have to scroll down a little bit. We've got some more people here. Let me see what our last question was. Oh, I wanted to tell you too, please, please, please do not do any super thanks or any of that. Don't pay for messages. We don't want our viewers to cost them any money. So don't do any super chats or none of that stuff, okay? I'll do my best to answer your questions as they come in. Let me scroll down here. Let's see. Yes, my nickname is Papa Doze, Brock. My youngest Sammy's called me that for years. My nickname at work was Dozer all the time, for a long time, and not just my last job. And it's not because I sleep a lot, it's just a play on my last name. So, yes, we want to see Terry McKinney. We want to see Ramona again soon, and she will be here in the last part of June. She comes for a month every year, and we can't wait till she gets here. So, yes, you'll see her. We'll do some more cooking with Ramona. She's the one, if you didn't know, that you see on the beginning of all the videos eating watermelon. She's the love of my life, that little kid. Okay. Alex Hernandez, welcome. Thank you for the recipes. Everything has been great. I appreciate that. We try not to put any recipes on the channel that we really don't enjoy. They're all family recipes that I've got from my mom or other people in the family. And if they're not fantastic recipes, we don't put them on. And if there's a new recipe, I try not to do new recipes on the channel. I at least want to make it one time and make sure it's going to be good before we put it on the channel. So thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. Let's see. Mama Dukes, hi. Another one of our good subscribers. Or all of our subscribers are good, but I mean the more regular ones that comment a lot. I recognize the names. So Mama Dukes, hello. Easy Cooking with Linda B. Sounds like a great facility. Please tell her hello. I will. I see her every Monday, Wednesday, Friday when I go into breakfast. I always go by and check on Mom after breakfast. So I actually took her to lunch Friday. There's a Mexican restaurant local that she likes to go to get crispy tacos because they're hard to find. And we finally found a place that she enjoyed. So we drove all the way down there on, well, it was Thursday. Today's Friday. And the place was closed. They were supposed to be open, but they were closed. And that's like the third time they've done that to me. And it takes like 40 minutes to get there. So I wish they wouldn't do that. So we just came back and got a hamburger in town. Let's see. Carla K, LOL, quite sure it's okay. I don't know what you mean by that. Probably answering somebody else's question. Let's see. Sammy says, I'm a rock star. You're too kind, Sam. You're only saying that because you're my kid. How's merch coming along from Carla K? Hello, Carla K. I don't know because I don't actually sell the merch. I make no money on our merch. We don't. My cousin set that up just so we would have some stuff because some of my family wanted some. So that's the only reason we did that. So we don't make a dime on the merch. It's set to where it's almost at cost. So if people want merch, that's the only reason I post it in the description. If for some reason somebody wanted something, they could order it. But I don't know why they would want something with our name on it. But more power to you if you do. It's great. You could, I don't know if you've clicked on the Redbubble description or in the description, the Redbubble There's two different logos. There's so much different stuff you can get that logo on. It's crazy. But my cousin Don set that up. Him and his son Josh. They have a Redbubble store that they set that up on, and they're not making much on it anyway. But they need to make a little bit just so they can cover their like artwork costs and all that. They put in some time to get it together. So, but we don't sell it ourselves. Okay, let's see here. Terry McKinney, awesome. All right. Easy cooking with Linda. Loves Ramona. Everybody does. Kids, awesome. Terry McKinney, did you like the tamales? Apparently you did. I'm glad you did. We did that one just for you because you inquired about that. I believe it was you, wasn't it, Terry? Mama Dukes, your candy recipes were a hit in New Jersey. Rocky Road was awesome. That seems to be everybody's favorite recipe, is that the Rocky Road type stuff. And yeah, that video blows up every Christmas. It goes berserk. It's got like 200,000 views on it now. Excuse me, I'm going to get a napkin. For some reason, my nose wants to run. So yeah, candy recipe goes crazy every Christmas. Goes berserk. And we get a lot of new subscribers. I think our subscribers doubled over December this year, which is great. We love getting out to more people. So that helps the algorithm tremendously so we can get out and help more people. So let's see here. Brock and my daughter are having a pretty good conversation. Country Dad, it might help if you put your questions in all caps. I can see them just fine. I just have to scroll because now that there's people here online, they're coming up more often, which is great. I was worried that I wouldn't even get any questions, so it's awesome. Linda likes the tamales as well. How do you manage to get so much done all the time? Terry asks, Terry McKinney. Because I'm retired, and I highly recommend it. I was able to retire young because of the profession that I was in. You really don't want to do that as an old person. So we had a decent pension. And I was able to retire at 50 years old, which is fantastic. And so now I can do homestead full time, and that's what I do. And cook dinner for Kelly, so she's got dinner most of the time, unless I stay outside too much. And then we got to go get tacos, which is just terrible. She's always upset when we got to go get tacos. She loves tacos just as much as I do, so she's always up for that. But that's how I get so much done, because that's what I do. I don't get as much done in the winter. You can see we've been in the kitchen a lot more, because if it's cold and miserable outside, I don't want to be out in it. And even though I got a wood stove in the shop, it takes a while to take the edge off. And I'm out of wood, and I couldn't get my shop door open to get my wood pallet out to fill it back up. But we're going to do that soon. Harvest was good to me last year. The people that I helped during harvest, super generous people, love them to death. But harvest was good to me, so we were able to buy some extra tools. We bought a Stihl electric chainsaw that I've seen on other channels. I think I saw it on Tractor Time with Tim is the first time I saw it, and I was really impressed with it. He's impressed with it too, and he doesn't give out reviews that easy. So I can't wait to use that. We'll do a review on that so you guys can see if it's worth buying. And I also bought a big weed eater that takes the same battery. So when the battery goes dead on the chainsaw, I have both of them in a charger, so I can just go swap batteries. So that chainsaw should go all day long. And it's going to be so nice not having to deal with the mixing the gas and the oil and the starting issues when it's cold. It does not want to start. So now I can just drop a battery in it and go. Now, I'm not a huge green energy fan that you would probably know if you follow the channel, but there's nothing wrong with the convenience of it. So as long as it's convenient and it's not, I don't know, I don't want to choose my words wrong here. there's some stuff with the green energy that they just really haven't thought out to clear the end game, that it's not better than what we're using now. But some stuff that's more convenient and it's useful, heck yes. Let's see here. Terry asked if I have a written schedule that I go by. I do not. I'm not that organized. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants and do what I want to do, which is what I always tell everybody when they ask what I'm doing after retirement. I always tell them whatever I want, which kind of sounds like a smarty, but it's true. I do whatever I want when I want. My only thing that pulls the reins on me is having the funds to do things. So you either have the time or the money, and usually people don't have both. So same, no change here. Let's see. Brian Holmes, please give Mom and Kelly a hug for me and Cindy. I will. Again, we hope we see you guys soon. If not, I'll see you next time. Definitely. Kelly's giving me updates on the wrestling in Omaha. Let's see, Terry. Yeah, it was me for the tamales. Mama Dukes like the Rolo pretzels too. Yes, that's one of my favorite candy recipes also. Super easy to make. Couldn't get any easier. What video is what, Brock? He said, what video is it? Oh, he's saying how many views the Christmas candy video's got. It's 191,000 views now. So that's cool. Terry says you have great recipes always. Thank you, Terry. We do appreciate you a lot, and all of our other regular viewers. You guys make it possible. Again, the algorithm, the more people watch and like and view and all that, the more people we can get to. Let's see here. Country Dad's laughing about something. How old are you now, Brock? I am, I believe, 56. And it's weird that I don't know exactly, because once you're retired, you really don't look at the calendar. I have not wore a watch since the day I walked out of retirement. There's a clock behind me, I guess, but it doesn't help me with the days. Now, my pill container that's got my pills in it's got the day of the week on it, so that's kind of my calendar. So that's how I know it's Friday, because I took Friday pills today. So I think I'm 56. I was born in 1966. So I don't know, do the math. I'm either 56 or 57, something like that. Right around there. The years just don't matter anymore, and that's kind of cool, I guess. Let's see. Sue Povey, welcome. Says, hi from California. It's where I used to be from. I used all of your Christmas recipes this year. My gift baskets were overflowing and a huge hit. One niece came back over to my house and asked for more. That's awesome. Get your family involved in that too. That was my favorite thing, is getting together with family and doing the baking and stuff like that. That's some of the best times, when you can get your family together. Same way with the tamales. If you like the tamales, get your family together and make the tamales. So what part of California are you from, Stu? You don't have to give me the town, but maybe the geographic area, so I can kind of know kind of location you were in. Because I know a little bit about California. Maybe I can recommend a dining establishment, because that's one of my things too. I always recommend places for people to go eat when I've been there before. Every trip that we do, I always look up before we go and find the restaurants I want to go visit while we're there. So kind of a foodie, if you haven't guessed. Terry McKinney, will you ever go off grid? Not completely. And the reason being is I don't recommend anybody goes completely off grid, but you need to be prepared to operate off grid if something goes on. So that's what we kind of focus on. Like the last house we lived in, we actually had city water, city sewer, but we had a large acreage. So we had the best of both worlds. We didn't have to worry about our well growing dry. We didn't have to worry about our septic system going bad and backing up and having to replace it. But always have a backup plan. We have a generator here. If the power goes out, I have a big enough generator to run the house, the shop, everything. So we are prepared. One of the projects I want to do here soon is I would like to take a line from our big 1,000-gallon propane tank and plumb it over to the shop where the generator is, so I can run a lot longer and don't have to replace the fuel cylinders on the generator. I have fairly good sized cylinders on it, and I have 2 of them, so I can run on one and then take the other one to town and fill it if it's possible. The other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to put a wood burning stove in the basement. So if we had to go a little further off grid, had to is the key word, I could keep the house warm, keep the pipes from freezing and stuff like that. I wish I had a backup water source that maybe like I could hand pump, but the water level here in our area, I think it's too far down to have like a hand pump. I could be wrong, but I've been running through my head maybe some backup solar to maybe just run the well pump so we would still have running water. So that's kind of an idea, and this is all future stuff that we're looking into. So the biggest thing I'm looking at now with the way things are shaping up in the world, and I don't want to scare you guys, but I worry about EMPs, which is an electromagnetic pulse, which if you know anything about our power grid and everything, we rely on power so much. Without electricity, we can't do anything in our country. You can't even spend your money if you even have it, because they don't take cash anymore. The register wouldn't work. They couldn't ring you up. They can't pump your gas. They can't do any of that stuff without electricity. So I think that's how we are most vulnerable in our country right now. Excuse me. Not good video, I know that. But I kind of worry about that. So I don't know if you've all seen the same commercials I have about the EMP little unit you can put to protect your house, even for lightning strikes, because we get serious lightning here. It's like a giant surge protector is all it is. But I'm going to look into getting those, one for the house, one for the generator, and one for one of our vehicles. So if there were an EMP or something like that, I can still use my stuff. It doesn't fry everything. And they're not that expensive, and they're highly portable. So like once you install it, it comes back out in like 5 minutes if you were to move or change vehicles or whatever. So highly portable. So that's what I'm looking on in the near future, maybe within, I don't know, the next few months or so, just with the balloons flying over and all that stuff. Got me a little weirded out, but I try not to dwell on it very long. So that, I hope that answered your question, Terry, about the off-grid stuff. Sammy says, my youngest says, he can't go off-grid because we love his videos and see him to farm too much. But that's another thing that I always worry about, or not worry so much worry, but wonder about. What's going to happen to YouTube in the future? Because I do a lot of this, so my grandkid, Ramona, and any other grandkids that I come up with in the future can go back and look at these things when they're older, because I may not be around to show them how to cook or, teach them the things I want to teach them, so they can go back and watch these videos in the future. But who knows what the future is of YouTube? I mean, we're taking a lot of trust in them by putting all of our videos out there and hoping that they'll just keep them forever and they won't go nowhere. But you know how things go, so hopefully they stick around. I've already got the channel set up to where you got like kind of beneficiaries or something, if people that use the channel would know, but you have certain people that can get into your channel and kind of like a beneficiary thing. So I've got that set up so Kelly and my girls can access it, because if it goes dormant, they may take it offline or whatever. So it needs to be kept up. Once I'm gone, there needs to be activity every now and then. So Let's see here. Brock says that is a lot, but I don't know what he's talking about. What? I missed the tamale video. Sue Povey says, yes, it wasn't that long ago. So if you go back and just maybe like last week or something, you'll see it. We've also split all of our videos into playlists. So if you actually visit the channel, you can see the playlist. So if you're not interested in shop projects or you're not interested in cooking, you can go to the playlist and go through and find things that you like, and you can hit play all, and you can binge watch on a weekend and see them all. So we've come up with a couple other playlists here in the recent past. It was I think I put a Portuguese playlist together, a Portuguese recipe playlist, and I put all of the chicken coop videos into one playlist. So if you wanted just to watch the chicken coop build, you could do that without searching through all of the videos on the channel. And we did the hog butchering. There was 4 videos in that, and we put those in its own playlist. So if you wanted to watch the hog butchering from start to finish, they were all right there together. And plus we strung the videos all together too into one big, huge video if you wanted to watch it start to finish. So we're trying to get it to where it's more user-friendly, where you don't have to search through that long. Now, if you don't know how to go to the channel, if you're on your TV while you're watching a video and you hit the up button, down on the bottom, you'll see like the channel icon. And if you go to that and click on it, it'll take you to the actual channel. I don't know if that's if you're not on a laptop computer, it's not as easy, but you can do it. Hit the up button, you'll see the little channel icon. You can click on that, and you can go to the actual channel. Or if you search Mark Kelly Farm on YouTube, the first little icon that pops up with our green and yellow logo, if you click on that instead of one of the videos, it'll take you to the channel, and then you can see everything there. Terry says, you and Kelly are very talented. Why, thank you, Terry. We appreciate that. Me, I'm not so talented that I'm just experienced. I've done a lot of stuff in my life, so I've experienced a lot. I know a lot of really talented people, so I know it's not all talent. Like my buddy Arnold, he's got more talent in his little pinky than I'll ever have. But it's just experience, and that's all it boils down to, and that's all that separates some people from others in different knowledge. I'm sure you know a lot about something that I have actually no clue about. So, but I've had just about every job under the sun before I got my retirement job. I started out welding truck bodies, like flatbeds and service bodies and stuff like that. We would build them from the ground up. And then I've built fire trucks before, heavy steel construction before, like bridges and big lumber mills and stuff like that, a lot of welding. Worked as an EMT on an ambulance before. I was a firefighter. I was a captain when I retired out of the volunteer fire group there in our town. Did lots of stuff, lots of stuff. So that's just experience that you gain along the way. And I always tell everybody, every life experience you have, every job you have is a building block in your experience as a whole. So you can get pretty well rounded after a while just by the different experiences you've had with the different jobs that you do. So Brian says I'm 56. Thank you, Brian. He probably knows that because we're not that far apart in age and we went to the same high school. So he knows how old he is. I hope you get to retire soon, Brian. I highly recommend it. That man works himself crazy, especially during harvest. But I hope you can back off, and I know what you do. You enjoy what you do now, but go see the world and enjoy the life that you built for yourself is what I recommend you do, brother. Cindy agrees with her husband. Yes, I'm 56. So Sue tells me where she's living. I know where that's at. I actually went and picked up an antique tractor there that I owned for a little bit. A little Farmall Super A. We picked it up in your town. But that was about 2.5 hours from where we lived. We lived on the east side of the valley, kind of towards the foothills, all farmland, but not too far from you, just southeast from you. We liked visiting San Francisco there for a while. We'd go about once a year, but as of late, we don't care to go there because of the issues that they have there in the city. Now, Monterey is still a good visit. We used to like going there, and Pismo also. So we still enjoyed the coast. Terry says, yeah, definitely don't make tamales alone. Yes. Even though you can do it if you do a small amount, you can do them yourself. Country Dad says, get a propane transfer hose. Actually, I have one on our 1,000-gallon tank. However, it's not under pressure like you do, like you get at the store where they have the pump. It's gravity flow. And if it's hot weather, it transfers a lot faster. But it doesn't transfer easily or fast with that hose. So I'd like to do it another way. Let's see, Terry McKinney, I kind of worry about our water we drink, especially those rail accidents. Yeah, that's been a tough deal. Anytime railway goes over water, there's a danger of contamination. That's been going on for years. I've done hazmat training before too. That's more of my experience with the fire department and all the other stuff. Anytime you're crossing a waterway, it's bad. But it kind of makes me wonder, where are all the environmentalists in that tragedy? You know, you're not hearing nothing from them right now. So they need to get down there on top of that and help those people out. We're fortunate enough here, we got well water, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around here that would provide any kind of contamination other than the cornfield next door with some of the fertilizers, but we haven't had any problem. We have a Culligan water service here. They come in and take care of our water here. We're on a contract with them. They come every couple of months. So our water's good. We're very fortunate. It's not chlorinated, none of that. So great water, which I need some right now. Sue Povey, I love watching it all. I learn something new every time. That's our goal. So glad to hear that, Sue. That's why we do this, is to teach people how to do some things the old way, get them in the kitchen, get them inspired to start cooking, and don't go to takeout so much. And I know it's not cheap, because I know even me here in our town, we can almost go get a meal at our favorite restaurant for what it would cost us to go get groceries right now. It's kind of crazy. But if you think about it, though, the groceries you buy, you're not going to use all of them, so you've got some left in the pantry and stuff like that. So grow your own food is the best thing. That's the cheapest way to go. And raise your own meat or process your own meat if you can. It doesn't take much to be able to do that. But I'm glad you love it, Sue. That's why we do it. Eating cookie, Linda B. Sue, I agree. That's what she loves about our channel. Again, go check out Linda B's channel. Linda says, age is just a number, but I'm not telling you mine. I think we're all caught up on the questions, so that's good. We're right at 48 minutes, which, man, time flies by. But this hasn't been that hard. I mean, it's my first one, so I always see people struggling with this on YouTube. And it's like they have so much stuff going wrong, and the audio's all jacked up and all that. But it doesn't seem that hard. I don't know why they struggle with it. But we don't have a lot of fancy equipment either. Maybe that's it. And I always hate about the live streams how they sit there and make you wait till a bunch of people come on. Just start. They'll come on and they can comment later after the video's not live anymore. I mean, you won't be able to answer their questions, but you'll see their comments. So I hate when people kind of string you along getting their videos going. Let's see here. Country Fun, welcome. Let's see here. I know, and food at home tastes better. Yes, it does. Tastes so much better. Country Dad said you did a great job. Thank you. You can thank Kelly for her decorating here in the back. I thought I should use that as a backdrop because it was more appealing than our office space. Let's see here. Mama Duke says, yes, more live streams. Well, you got to keep the questions coming. Otherwise, we won't have much to talk about. But I enjoy talking to people. That's why I go to the restaurant 3 times a week, because I tell Kelly, I say, you go to work every day and you have those people to talk to at work, and I'm stuck here with the dogs and they never talk back to me. But I go into the restaurant, we solve all the problems of the world, and once we got that done, we all go home. So Sue says, moving out of California this year, it has changed so much. I think that's a great decision for you, Sue. I think you're going to be very happy. Just make sure you end up in a place you're going to enjoy. I want to buy land and enjoy my retirement too. Any recommendations? Thinking of northern Idaho or Montana. Both would be a good choice, but I have some friends in Idaho that are telling me that their once great state is being infiltrated from the west because people are getting tired of all of the nonsense in Oregon and Washington that's bleeding over their border, and they're moving out and they're going to Idaho. But hopefully those are the good people that are tired of that mess and are wanting to get away from that mess that are moving to Idaho. One thing you want to look at when you move, especially if you have a retirement, there are some states that do not charge state income tax. So that is a plus. I don't live in one of those states, but we're fine. But a lot of my friends moved to Tennessee. They don't charge income tax. Idaho doesn't. Florida doesn't. That's why a lot of retired people are in Florida. There's like 5 states, so you can check into that. Make sure, check around, make sure that the area is not having crime. I would stay away from the larger cities. Move to next to a small town where you can get what you need. But the further you are away from the big cities, the less crime and everything that you will have. We do see crime here in Nebraska, over in Omaha and Lincoln and those big towns, but it doesn't seem to bleed out into the country, which we're fortunate that it doesn't. And we really enjoy that. We feel really safe where we're at, and we don't have a lot of crime in town. In fact, the jail in our town is no bigger than what our intake area was at the jail that I worked at in California. So that'll tell you something. But just make sure it's someplace you like. A lot of states, it's still, to this day, cheaper. You can sell your home in California, buy a place for cash in another state, and still put money in the bank, and you'll have you a nice place. So look at that. Prices have gone up with our current economy for sure, but it's still very affordable. So I highly recommend you do it. Another tip I have for you is to scale way down before your move, especially if you're moving, a few, 3, 4, or 5 states over. You really want to scale your stuff down. Get rid of a lot of stuff. You can reacquire it very easily, and it's so much easier than moving. We scaled down a lot. I would say we scaled down by 50%, and we still had to make 3 trips with stuff and an extra trip for vehicles like trailers, camper, boats, stuff like that, which I even thought about selling that stuff and reacquiring it, but Kelly did not want to let go of our camper that we made together, and I understand. And she loves our boat, so she didn't want to redo that. And we got it super cheap too, so it would cost way too much to reacquire the boat. So, but scale down as much as you can. And if it's anything like where we live, if you get towards the Midwest, there are so many auctions. In fact, there's an auction next month that I'm going to. People retire, stop farming or whatever, and they have a big auction and get rid of a lot of their stuff because they want to move to town, get closer to their doctor's offices and all that. And you can outfit your house for pennies on the dollar. It's so cheap. So don't worry about getting rid of stuff. Keep your Sunmill stuff, of course, but don't worry about letting go of some of those items. It makes it so much easier to move. Also, when you're moving out of California, it costs so much for a U-Haul. crazy, crazy amounts, like $6,000 to rent a U-Haul to leave California, especially if you're making a few trips. So you'll be money ahead. Buy you a cargo trailer. Cost you about, I'm guessing, $6,000 or $7,000 if you can swing that or borrow one. But we bought a cargo trailer, used it for 3 trips, and then sold it. I only lost $1,000. We purchased it for like 6, and I sold it for 5. So we were way money ahead when we were done. So that's a great idea also if you can do that. That was a long one, so I got to catch up. Terry likes the background. Thank you. Terry says, when do you cull the chickens, spring or fall? We didn't really cull any of our chickens. But if you want to know Kelly's plan on that, sorry, my nose is still running. PM her on Mark Kelly Farm Facebook, because Kelly, if you didn't know, runs the Facebook. I run the YouTube, she runs the Facebook. So if you want to talk to Kelly directly, PM her on the Facebook page and she can tell you all that. She's the chicken wizard. I am not. Country Fun. Country Dad is always telling me to try your recipes. So you're related to Country Dad. Good to know. The last one was those yummy candied carrots. Yes, the glazed carrots are fantastic, and that was Mom's recipe that she shared with me. Brian says you did an outstanding live stream. Miss you, brother. Miss you too. He's gone. Night, Brian, Cindy. Terry, what was your first? Was this your first live? Yes, this was our first live. I wanted to do it with Kelly, but she's gone this weekend. But if we do another one next weekend, I'll have Kelly sit in if she wants to. She's not big on camera exposure, as you can probably tell. But I'll talk her into it. I'll tell her there were some questions for her. Of course, she can go on this video and answer your question in the comments too later. Let's see. Mama Dukes, do you have an Amazon storefront for your Austin gadgets? No, I don't. I was going to look into that and see how to set that up. So if you have any experience in that, feel free to get on the Facebook page and we'll swap emails or something, and maybe we can figure that out. But I try to put the link down in the comments like I did for the, what's the video we just did? Oh, that curry powder that I used the other day. If it's something I really like that I think you'll like, I usually try to put the link down in the comments so you can go straight to Amazon and get it. And I don't think it'll cost you any extra money. I think it may cost a little extra fee if it's from like my store. So I try to keep it so where it doesn't cost y'all any money at all. We don't do memberships. We don't do any of that stuff where it's going to cost you money. Cindy says, Brian, dinner's ready. What are you having for dinner? Country Fun. Country Dad is my hubby. Okay, good to know. Glad you're here. Terry McKinney. Okay, congrats on your first live. Thank you very much. Mama Duke says thank you. We appreciate y'all too. We're right under an hour. So unless another question pops up, we'll probably cut this thing off here at 60 minutes. I apologize for my nose running. I do not know why. I knew why the other night when I ate those Singapore rice noodles. Ooh, those are spicy. But I can do that when Kelly's not here. Mama Duke says she just went back on Facebook after 3 years. Have to locate you. Okay, it's still Mark Kelly Farm on Facebook, so it's not hard to find. Glad you're back on Facebook. I agree that Facebook can be a real cesspool sometimes, but if you do like we do and just use it to keep up with family and friends and don't get involved in the drama, Facebook can be a good thing. It's a good way to keep in touch. Let's see here. Good night, Sam. Love you too. Do you keep a starter dough going? Yes, we do. Kelly's got one right over here on the counter. She's been making sourdough bread. She got a really good recipe she tried the other day. She shared it on the Mark Kelly Farm Facebook. We're going to try to get her to do a video on that bread. So that'll be good for you. She makes sourdough bagels. She makes sourdough chocolate chip cookies. So I wanted to share all those recipes with you. Sammy says, great stream. Thank you, youngin. PJ Wood, hello. Welcome. So happy to be here for your first live. Glad to have you, PJ Wood. We're just getting ready to sign off unless you got a question real quick. We're just now going over the hour mark. So we've enjoyed our first live. Glad we were able to figure it out. It works good having two phones because I can see the messages come up on this phone, but they fade away after a minute. But I can go back to my other phone and scroll down and actually see. I can scroll back and see what the questions were. Terry McKinney asked, have Kelly do her sourdough bagels, please. Yes, I want her to do that. And maybe by you saying that we can get her to do them. We do have the weekend coming up. Wanting to go check on a campsite tomorrow, though, and she's not supposed to be home tomorrow anyway. So I got to get Kelly camping. She loves camping, and we haven't done any since we've been here. And we need to do it in the cool season. We don't have an air conditioner on our camper. Let's see. Awesome live stream from Linda B. Thank you. Hugs to Kelly. I will definitely give her one. Take care, Terry. Take care of you too. So, hope you enjoyed it. We'll try to do another one in a week or so. I really enjoyed all the questions. So, if you have any more questions, write them down and hit them with us next week. So, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. We'll see you later.